back to Technopoverty. Hi, I'm Henry. Jacob's normally with us, but he's a bit incapacitated tonight. So, while Jacob recovers from his interdimensional travel and the space fungus that came with it, we're chilling and playing Umurangi Generation, which I kind of decided on a lark to pick up after beating Jet Set Radio Future, which... We talked about a lot of different books, outlaw cultures, countercultures, all kinds of stuff like that with Jet Set Radio Future, and I just had some lingering thoughts on Albert Camus I didn't quite get to address because we were too busy talking about Hunter S. Thompson and Jack Black and the gangs of New York and all that good stuff. But Umurangi Generation is working out quite well to be about the similar kind of life under authoritarianism that JSRF was. Here we're documenting it. For those who don't know what Umurangi Generation is, it's a game where we're playing Where's Waldo, basically. Each level gives us a set of objectives to photograph. We photograph them. In looking for the objectives, you kind of notice things about the environment. There's graffiti, there's characters, there's... I don't know, there's some lingering threat of war in the background. We haven't quite cracked it yet, but it's a fun piece of environmental storytelling, and it's a game that's not violent, at least so far. There's no health meter, you're not stabbing things. It's about observing and looking and documenting and piecing things together as an observer. You're not necessarily a Jungian hero seizing the moment. You're not a knight errant. You're not a Don Quixote going after the windmill. You're, as far as I can tell, watching something unfold in a sort of position of powerlessness, which is a pretty cool thing for a video game to do, considering they usually don't do that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the level select back up here. I'm going to turn the volume back up a little. I feel like I turned it down a little too much. Although we're also idle on the menu, it might get louder once I start back up. I hope everybody's Thursday is going well. Tomorrow's Friday, my dudes. As always, Technopoverty streams on Mondays and Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shin Megami Tuesdays happens every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central. Lux and I are playing through Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne. Jacob and I are going to be going through a series of first-person oriented games. I'll leave it at that as far as future Technopoverty plays stuff goes. Hint, hint, I'll also probably be pairing Paradise Lost with some of the satanic stuff we're going to be wading through. We're gonna go to the walled city now. Caddy Caddy. And for those of you on our Discord, we will be watching Tokyo Tribe this weekend. I have some other movie ideas boiling, but also due to some real-life moving and other events, I may have to go to a less regular film schedule for the time being. It may be shorter notice, it may not be every Sunday. I may actually, start picking up more weekend screenings. I'll try to give as much notice as I can, but in the meantime, let's take some photos and figure out what we're doing here in the walled city. Take a photo of a cat and a bird, and I'm going to use the telephoto for that. 15 candles at once. The word cops. A Mania memorial? Okay, cool. Usually that's a lore type item. Four bikes, a butterfly, 4 feather icons. So, once it clicked with me what I was supposed to do, I instantly wanted to replay the levels. And I think that speaks to the concept of imagining Sisyphus happy that Camus gets into in his essay, The Myth of Sisyphus. For those who weren't here for the first half, we've been talking about Camus in relation to, well, we talked about Camus the Rebel for JSRF. Okay, cool. a lot of flavor in this level. And in talking about Camus with JSRF, it just made me want to talk about more of Camus in general. And so I bring up the myth of Sisyphus now because I got into the groove of what this game wanted out of me, and rather than seeing it as an argument, it became an understanding. There's a lot of cool imagery here. Alright, I'll get back to the myth of Sisyphus in a bit, but for now I may go a little quiet as I lick this level. Hey, a cat. I need to find a cat and a bird fighting. Now that I know the limits and parameters, there's less pressure or anxiety as far as what am I supposed to do, less confusion, more of a sense of enjoyment with what I'm doing. I've found where on the boulder I'm supposed to grab on and push up. Sisyphus, of course, in Greek myth was punished by the gods, enslaved, cool, forced to push a boulder uphill only for it to roll back down to the bottom of the hill. 4 bikes, okay, and a butterfly. Okay, cool. All in one. Wasn't even planning that. 4 feather icons, a cat and a bird. I'm just gonna kind of keep climbing. Oh man, these guys look so cool. Camus wants to argue that what is happening with Sisyphus is not a punishment, but a clarity of purpose sort of thing, in which Sisyphus knows exactly what task needs to be done, and so at the bottom of the hill is struck with just like this sense of knowing they know what they need to do, and that they can do it, and that they're going to do it. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Once I understood the objectives, I had no problem wanting to replay this thing, because I saw what the game wanted me to consider fun. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Okay, what's the lore here? Here's we're on 2847, like 2047. Maxine from Lot 27 rose to protect us from Kane invaders. Kia Kaha Mo. I'm going to just hold on to this. What does it mean, chat? What does it mean? The word cops, 4 feather icons, 15 candles, a cat and a bird. Max was one of us. Okay, here's some candles. Let's get real wide with it, see what we can do. And I mentioned it already, but I do think Camus just writes these kind of short pieces of fiction or essays that get their point across without getting too in the weeds with jargon. The right intersection of like fiction and ideology to really refresh your brain in short punches. I think I've read like a Camus book every few years of my life, just at interesting intervals. Okay, that's not enough candles. and they're all kind of in dialogue with like the experience of the material. They're not so grounded in specifics of plot and time that it becomes like silly or washed or contrived in like the way a plotty sort of just like straight narrative thing might be. This is so cool. Look at the photos of this lady. Alright, how do I get 15 candles? Where can I find 15 candles? And the word cops. Oh, there we go. Is that an Eva? Oh, I have to be close to it. Or like one of the elites from Halo? Oh, awesome. Arash, if you haven't done any others, I only found this out recently, but there's like sort of an intended order to his writings he had. This doesn't count. And The Stranger is kind of the starting point. You should check out the Plague next. The Plague, and if you've read Sisyphus, I believe that's also one of the ones he says to do early on. Oh shit. Okay, cool. But then definitely read The Fall, because The Fall is one of the weirdest dudes. I mean, we talked about the Stranger's protagonist being kind of a little lethargic gremlin who doesn't care about anything. There we go, cops. But The Fall is interesting because it's like a first-person novel, and the author is encountering just a creep, an absolute creepo dude. Dang, where is that? Is that up? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, but I believe like The Stranger, Sisyphus, and The Plague are in his like first tier of reading, and then The Fall and The Rebel. And then after that, it gets a bit wishy-washy, or I don't remember exactly. But I just noted it because, like, I haven't read all his works, but I have read those ones, and in that order. And honestly, it took me a while to, like, get The Fall. And I don't know if I would have gotten it as fast as I did if I had read the prior works and kind of understood Camus' deal going into The Fall, because it's a very easy to just be confused about book. Oh, I thought I got it. Looks like a job for a telephoto. There we go, postcard shot. 15 candles, a cat and a bird, 4 feather icons. Okay, I saw the cat earlier. Yeah, there's the cat there. Where's the bird? And where are the candles? I think this is the candles I just got. But, sorry, the photography is distracting me from talking about the French, but Camus' The Fall, the narrator, who's, you know, it's first-person novel, encounters just this weirdo at a bar, who recounts to them their fall. And the first time I read this book, I was like, okay, so you encountered this person at a bar. They said, I believe they had a stolen painting. Do you want to come back to my place and see it? And then they go back there, see the painting. and then it's too late for the narrator to escape them. It's very, if you've ever seen The Comfort, I think it's called The Comfort of Strangers, or if you're a Saturday Night Live or Christopher Walken person, there used to be a skit Christopher Walken would do when he was on Saturday Night Live called The Continental, in which he was a very aggressive and a very sexually aggressive and insistent host trying to force this first-person date into situations she didn't want to be in. He was a very pushy, kind of chauvinistic dude, kind of creepy and sex pesty. That is kind of what's happening in The Fall. Not so much the sex pesty part, but there's just this creepy guy kind of commanding your night. This stranger you meet at a bar that you can't shake, just driving the night. I gotta find a cat and a bird, and I have no idea what it means by the feather icons. It's probably something on the wall, isn't it? Am I not paying attention to the lore because I'm trying to talk about books? Yes. Yes, I am. So that's the setting of The Fall and the general plot outline, but what's interesting, it confused me at first because I was like, that's it? Being a fool and forgetting that the stranger is also sort of like that because the plague is rather dense in what is happening. But upon like flipping back through The Fall and thinking on it, it becomes immediately clear that it's a book about exercising judgment and not doubting yourself, or the paradox, not the paradox, the paralysis of self-doubt you can overthink yourself into. The gist of it is the stranger at the bar. Kind of these two events happened in their life. They were like a very renowned. They were a very renowned man about town as far as the public speaking goes. I believe they were a lawyer. They were a famous prosecutor. Oh. Hey, my friends. Okay, so my friends are around. She's large now. Interesting. Dawn of the... Oh, it's one of those jellyfish again. In a movie? Two things happen in this guy's life. He does a little hand motion when he bids a good day to a blind man. And it makes him question, wait, why did I even do the visible hand motion? This guy's blind. And he gets in his head when he starts realizing I did that for myself. Like, that wasn't to the benefit of that dude. That was a performance on my behalf. There's the penguin. Any other cats and birds? 'Cause there's the cat, but there's no bird. And so as he's already been kind of knocked off guard by this idea that he's not sure why he's doing the things he's doing, he's just kind of running on social autopilot. You know, he tipped his hat to this blind man. Oh, I got this. I got this cat and this bird. As he's like ruminating and over-obsessing on this, he's walking home one night and he sees a man jump off a bridge and he doesn't help him. He witnesses a fall and he doesn't do anything. Like, the assumption that he's going to stick to his morals or stick to what is like the ethical or the righteous thing and that he'll just act on it, that doesn't happen. He has this realization that you know, you have to actually do things, or you can fail to do things. You can fail to act on what you think are your principles. shatters the dude's ideas of like agency and judgment. He hates himself in a way that he decides to withhold judgment. He stops judging. And it sends him in a spiral, basically. It's how he becomes the weirdo you meet in the present tense of the story. He's become rudderless, and it's not to say that, you know, oh, there's no morality, it's all meaningless. It's that he fails to enforce his own sense of morality, or his own, he just stops trying to judge. It's not that, like, judgment is good or bad, it's that he stops doing it. Like, again, Camus, credited as one of the great existentialist writers, examining that you have to, like, act and do and exist. And there's these assumptions about meaning and purpose is like essential and core and self-evident and self-emergent that just aren't true. Cops here to kill us. Oh, come here to kill us. Wait, cops come here to kill us. I've messed up the zoom. Let's fix that. Maybe I take off the telephoto. There we go. Alright. I'm way over time on this delivery, and I'm rambling about Camus. This is exactly what I wanted to do tonight. This is exactly what is getting done. Thank you all for joining me for Technopoverty. Let's find these feather icons and get out of this walled city, why don't we? So it's not the birds. It's also by any means necessary, highwaymen. Okay. Okay. He just continued walking on. Like, the dude jumps into the river. The dude who jumps off the bridge jumps into the river, and instead of, like, diving in after him or shouting for help or anything, he just continues walking. Like, he doesn't want to deal with it. You know, he's a coward, is what the conclusion he comes to. And I think that book really, really resonates with me because I think people are scared of failure because they're dreading it might send them into such a state. Like, you have to be able to, like, forgive yourself and kind of reconcile when you fuck up with your own personal sense of judgment and not allow it to just, like, completely paralyze you. You know, you have to go on living. I want to say more on that, but I'm also trying to figure out what it means by feather icon. The first wave. Okay, I'm gonna take a photo of this to save. It's gonna be interesting going through my gallery photo, looking at all this. A spoiler policy, as in spoilers for the books I'm talking about, or like, do you want to tell me spoilers for the game? Because I do not want to hear spoilers for the game, but if I've seen the feather icon before and I'm just being ignorant about it, if it's something like internal to the stream I'm just being like oblivious to, feel free to say like, hey, you're blind. Four in one place though. See, there's the butterfly. Butterfly and the bikes. Oh, there's two right there. Okay. Okay, I need 4. I'm gonna just fire one off and see if I magically just capture something. Okay, I'm gonna look around other aspects of the level. Oh, I think I see 2 over there. Yeah, I see 3 over there. There we go. Alright, let's find the delivery area. And if anything, earlier I was being too harsh on myself with just aborting and restarting the level when running out of time. Imagining, you know, the game was going to punish me in a more extreme way than it actually did. This has been a nice change of pace from the usual murder homo incentive dynamics of video games. Sometimes we just want to be reporter goblins and not murder hobos. Where is the exit? Okay, cool.
Congratulations.
Oh, I got the wide angle lens, eh? Let's retry that delivery with the wide angle lens. But I know more now. I'm wiser. I'm stronger for it. We got the 4 right here. Now I need a clearer shot of the Monomo world. Why is the jump not jumping? Alright. Right, that's why I want to be up there. For the bird and the cat. Yeah. Some of my favorite video games. There's quite a few. Super Metroid comes to mind. I think it's the right balance of exploratory and open world. It's an open world level. It's open world, and I'll have to play Super Metroid for the stream, but I appreciate it because it is open world in a way that feels like a natural open alien world, not a pre-designed video game world. And of like all the search action Metroidvania type games in existence, I think Super Metroid still clears a whole lot of them, just because it has so much more considered world design than a lot of its imitators. I don't even think like Metroid as a franchise is the greatest, but I do think Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion are really good. No, Super Metroid's one of the most, well, it's like a perfect video game. I like Chrono Trigger, I like Nier Automata, I like Undertale, Elden Ring, Sekiro. Jet Set Radio Future is still at the top of my list. I'm glad that wasn't just nostalgia. Ghost Trick. Doom is one of my favorites, but maybe not for the reasons you might think. We're actually going to tap into that soonish. Yeah, and also just so another thing with Super Metroid is, you know, most Metroidvania and search action type games will have one clear intentional path with sequence breaks that are clearly designed to be all like, hey, look at this, you're breaking the path, like this is a sequence break, and that's fun and cool. But the way Super Metroid has like 2 or 3 sort of different paths that feel like the intended path, just the right amount of variations in what feels like the right way, it really lends itself to, it makes the world feel that much more alive. It makes it feel as if there's, you know, when you have a very video gamey and artificially built like one-way path, it makes the world feel designed for the player instead of it being a place the player is intruding upon and stumbling around in. Oh, AR Berlin. I want to like Metroid 2 more than I can. It's just, it's too limited by the Game Boy technology for me. All right, let's get the, let's get that. Let's get the postcard and then let's get out of here. There was a really good fan remake called another Metroid 2 remake. That probably is right up there with Super Metroid as far as good favorite Metroid stuff goes for me, but I think Nintendo cease and desist them guys. Postcard shot. Like, really, the only problem I have with Metroid 2 is that the hardware and you know, colorlessness of the Game Boy makes everything look a bit too samey, and you move a bit too slow to where it's just a bit of a slog in a way I don't find charming or enduring. It's kind of an issue I have with the original Metroid as well. The NES just not powerful enough to make the world distinct. Super Metroid though, again, the areas are distinct, the world feels alive, it's just a really well considered map. It's not because it's a Metroid game that it's good, it's because it's just a well motivated alien world. It feels alien. It feels like the things in it exist with or without Samus's permission. I do like Hollow Knight, and to Hollow Knight's credit, it does very well at this as well, what I'm talking about.
Congratulations.
I do wonder when I do them faster, I mean, I'm making less money. The Strand. The Strand. Ooh, this place looks cool. The word gamer 7 times. Oh, what's a bloodhound? The word XCF, 4 spray cans, 2 vans. The word Tapuna, 2 cats. Alright, this is getting tricky. This is getting tricky. I think Castlevania Rondo of Blood's one of my favorite games while we're talking about the Metroid stuff, and I bring that up because it is a level-based Castlevania with some optional, you know, secondary levels, but it's not a full-on Metroidvania. I don't think there's any Metroidvania I think is exceptional. They all seem poorly considered when it comes to the geography. Like, they use the magic of Dracula's castle to just make convoluted shapes and grind chambers. It's not like Super Metroid or Hollow Knight where there's a sensibility to the geography and a coherency to the world and the creature design. Like, it's Dracula's castle, it's magic, it's whatever you need to cut to next is sort of the vibe I always get from Metroidvanias. So I can't really fall in love with the world even though I love the lore of Castlevania. I'm just taking this because it's a cool photo. Totally blanking on what the actual objectives are around here, but I'm going to explore. The future is Japanese. It shows the language of off-world. Off-world living? Okay. Hey, it's that cat. Okay, 2 cats. Is there another cat nearby? There is. Okay, we got 2 cats here. Oh, you know what? Perfect time for my wide-angle lens. Two vans, Tapuna, XCF. Okay, let's go find some vans. There should be a Gamer's Palace. Telephoto the word gamer 7 times. Okay. There we go. I am the ultimate gamer, apparently. 2 vans. Let's do it. Yeah, that's another benefit of an AR Berlin, to its credit, and I do like that it has a narrative hook. I mentioned Fusion earlier. I think Fusion is just a really well-designed 2D action game. Kind of beat Uncharted to the punch, if you ask me, as far as like the curated prestige tour narrative-driven things go. It's kind of underrated because people think of a Metroid game, they think of an open world kind of on a planet exploration thing, but the way Fusion is a curated sci-fi action experience through like a multi-chambered satellite and the way it really controls your direction, it's quite a feat. It's one of the best things you can play on the Game Boy Advance. Let's find some spray cans or a bloodhound. I don't know what a bloodhound is. But yeah, AR Berlin, I'm right there with you as far as like I hear the word Metroidvania and it actually makes me kind of scared to play the game because I'm used to it signifying a type of bloated, inconsiderate world design that is more Castlevania than Metroid, in the sense that all the Castlevanias tend to have like all these extra systems with like cards and monster grinding or like hidden stats, and again, the Dracula's Castle stuff gives them an excuse to be too floaty in a way where it just gets tiring to me. It just feels like it's all content for the sake of content. Note that the two Metroid games I'm giving the high praise to are the ones that are like focused. Either in like being an organic world and really dedicating itself to that, or being a narrative experience which hides all the scenes quite well. If you have never seen a Super Metroid race done at Games Done Quick, I highly suggest searching that up on YouTube when you're done here. There's quite a few of them. It's amazing how, because of the way Super Metroid it lends itself to multiple paths and optimization, people race it. It's that kind of game. You can sharpen your run down into like, you know, a 40-minute thing and compete against other people who've sharpened their run down to a 40-minute thing. And the visual language of the thing is so compelling that you can watch that and kind of understand what's going on. Alright, I'm looking for spray cans. Spray cans in XCF. Tokyo Ghost Police. I do want to see that movie. Okay, Bloodhound's Lawyers. So get a Bloodhound. Okay. I thought the Bloodhound was going to be like a telephoto. I thought that was going to be slang for like a drone or something in the world. Hey, spray cans. More spray cans. Let's get all these spray cans in a wide shot with these people. Yeah. Alright, let's telephoto a Bloodhound poster. Since I've been exploring this underground, which might also have XCF if I look around. Cool. Ghosts, you in. Yeah, Rashmiki, it's pretty cool how that sort of culture can develop around something like that, huh? Okay, no, yeah, there we go. Good doggo. Tipunya and XCF. Let's look around. Oh, this is so Tokyo Tribe. Never gonna die. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, New Colwoon. I'm very curious about this world. I keep saying that, but yeah, New Colwoon on the walls. Some sort of invasion. Like Japanese is the language of the off-world. Am I on-world? What's this red sun? Who's this guy? He looks very important. Some sort of UN scientist? The day the Earth died, eh? Dude's working now. It's like, who's standing over there? Why? Be part of our second chance. Careers for the next generation. Okay, off-world. Summoning Salt, is that a YouTuber? Speedrun history documentaries? I'd be curious. The iterative and reiterative nature. I believe it was H-Bomber guy who did the like in defense of speedrunning or speedrunning the second opinion video, but I do think there is something interesting in the community problem solving nature of speedrunning, and it shows. To me, when I see a speedrunning community solving a problem, I just think that, oh, like, this is how we beat Skynet. So much of it is dependent on finding where the programming language is being barely held together, or where the machine's not going to understand what's going on, and how you can break it at those fissure points. You know, speedrunners are going to save us from Terminators, so you better thank a speedrunner in the near future. XCF. Let's see if we can find it. We're doing pretty alright on time considering this is my first play. Do you guys think XCF is going to be big or small? Also, the music's really kicking into gear here. The Peace Corps Defense Force. Contacted UN recruiter on blockchain or book a VR interview? Holy shit. So I think it's 20, well no, the memorial was for 2047, so this is sometime beyond that. Whole meal substitute spaghetti ration. Splinter Ribbon 2? I'm just gonna take a photo for the hell of it on that one. Okay, I got 11 shots left. Let's make sure I find this XCP, or XCF. The Miami Fugitive. Gamers Aftermath VR Dungeon. Man, there's a lot of places for gamers in this society. British Gaming Bar? The one-up bar Hardcore Gaming? Ooh, dang, it's over 10. I talked too much. Alright, well let's find XCF and then we can get on our way. Same newspaper ad. Wait, what? The failed attempt at resurrecting the Hoya? British rebels? What? Information overload. Alright, we're going underground. It's the only place XCF could be, right? Cool sharks. Cool marks. Looks like there's some paper. Oh hey, another Chapuna. Oh hey, Kaiju confirmed. What does it look like, I wonder? We have protectors up there. Curious and curiouser. Alright, I did not see XCF down there, chat. Yeah, the environmental storytelling, just top notch. I love all these ads. I kind of hope... I want a little clarification on the history, but I hope there's not a complete history, you know? I hope a lot of these details are just there to evoke curiosity. I hope there is a lore book that the public never sees for this game. I want it to be a whimsical mystery. I'm like licking corners and it's probably going to be tagged super big in the streets. Succulent seafood show? A succulent dinner? Oh man. Where would I be were I? Cat. Hey kitty. Kitty cat. Oh, there was a dude in a ditch somewhere with two cats that I want to go look, see if there's a... Oh, that dude's just got his gamer headset on, huh? I'm like, is XCL some insignia? No, that's a Urian helmet. XCF, but yeah. Okay, I haven't really checked upstairs or the roofs as much as maybe I need to. And I just walked through stairs, interesting. Alright, I think there's multiple undergrounds, or at least two. Oh, man. All right, where do we deliver? I'm gonna check down here, but I'm thinking it's gonna be up top, if anything. Or is it gonna be in the street? It's usually near my party members, and I think they're all dancing up on the street. Right up here. Yeah. A.R. Berlin, I think that is something Alex Garland's Civil War was trying to get at, but I think it just missed the mark. It was trying to do too many things at once, and out of all the things it was trying to do, I found that aspect the most interesting. If you've seen the movie, I don't know, let me know. Or A.R. Berlin, sorry. I did not like it, but I found it fascinating because of my particular interest in like American history and these sort of dissonances it's symptomatic of. It's a very much a white wine sort of movie. Its heart's in the right place, but I think it's a misdiagnosis of the American character, and it's kind of boring for that. If it didn't try so hard to be this maudlin, sappy, look what was lost meditation on a fake America, and instead was about the meanness and sort of zero-sum mentality the American culture engenders in people, which has all kinds of historical precedent. I'm not making stuff up, and when I say this, oh, it's all just down here. I think it'd be a lot cooler, or it'd be a lot more capable of commenting with any kind of meaning on the American character. So there's a lot of that side of the movie I don't like, but it's trying to have this plot about journalists being detached from conflict without realizing they're detached from conflict, or journalists thinking they're above it all and that they're not participating in the conflict when they very much are being a part of, they're being a participant in what's going on. There's some ideas in that vein that are going on in that movie that I think are worth considering. I don't think it's a total loss. I think Alex Garland, I don't know, I have no interest in seeing warfare, is how I'll put it. I liked every Alex Garland movie up until Civil War, even Men. Okay, I'm going to abandon this delivery because it is 10:24. We're going to go ahead and call it there for tonight. Give me just a moment. This has been Umurangi Generation on Technopoverty. Hi, I'm Henry. Bye. No, just kidding. I'll finish. We've been talking about Albert Camus. We've been playing Umurangi Generation. We've been documenting this weird world in which there's apparently a kaiju invasion, some sort of world war. There may be aliens afoot. The UN's trying to keep things contained. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a kid with a camera dwelling in the world. AR, I'd say if you can watch Civil War in a relatively cost-free method, and you are interested in American history and kind of have an idea that there's this divide between American history as depicted by, say, Norman Rockwell paintings and the American history that, you know, did the Tuskegee Airmen experience and MK Ultra. You know, in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, there were certain suburban areas where certain populations were much more hostile for specific reasons. It's within the continuity of weird, dissonant American images of itself. It fits in the lineage. It's not a 5 out of 5 escapist piece of cinematic fiction. It's not a fun movie. It's a very uneven movie, but again, as an artifact, it's I found it worth watching at least once. Anyways, we'll be back next Monday with more Umurangi Generation. Hopefully Jacob will be in recovery by then. I'll see what I'm doing book-wise. I may talk more about Naked Lunch next time, because the way this is feeding me details of the world is very reminiscent of what Burroughs is doing in that book. In the same violent way, it jabs at your brain and just gets you thinking, and is kind of hostile at first, but as you warm up to its vocabulary, it starts making sense, and you start feeling insane because it's making sense. This has been a pleasant surprise. This has been a pleasant stream. Thank you all for joining me. Until then, I'll see you on Monday. If you're on the Discord, I'll see you at Movie Time Sunday. Y'all take care.